In this video, I would like to do a brief reading of Hebrews 1:1 and following in the Greek text, looking at some basic grammar, and then read it in Hebrew, Delitzsch's translation, looking at grammar from the Hebrew. My goal is not only to do grammar, but to worship Christ through a study of grammar with a summary kind of commentary. So we began with the Greek. Palumeros kai palutropos, palai hathaas, lalesas tois patrasin in tois prophetais. In many parts, in many ways, God of old, having spoken to the fathers in the prophets. We begin with two adverbs, palumeros kai palutrapos, many parts and many ways. We might say variously. It could be looking at the different parts of Old Testament revelation and the different ways that God has revealed himself in the Hebrew scriptures. Looking at maybe dreams and direct speech, etc. So many ways, many parts and many ways of old, God of old, having spoken. Ta'as. Lalesas is from laleo. It is the aorist participle, nominative masculine singular from laleo. God having spoken, tois patrasin, to the fathers. Here we have a dative plural, masculine in the article, and patrases from pater, to the fathers. In tois prophetais. In takes the dative again, and tois prophetais is your dative plural from prophetes. So in many parts and in many ways, God of old, having spoken to the fathers in the prophets. And looking at Delitzsch's translation, Ha-Elohim asher diber mekedem pe'amim rabot uvefanim shonim el abotenu biyad ha-neve'im diber elenu be'acharit hayamim ha'elef biyad beno. Actually, he went on to finish that in the last of these days he spoke to us in the Son, which the Greek would be episkatuton hemeron, tuton, elalesen hemon in huio. Looking at the grammar of Delitzsch's Hebrew, God, which spoke, diber is a PL, perfect third masculine singular from davar, spoke mekedem of old, pa'amim rabot, many, in many parts, pa'amim u vefanim shonim, in many faces or many ways, el avotenu, unto our fathers. El is simply your preposition. Avot means fathers. Enu is your pronominal suffix, first person plural. Biyad ha-nevi'im, by the hand of the prophets. That would be like through the prophets, by the hand of the prophets. Yad is in construct with ha-nevi'im from navi, which is your masculine plural, noun meaning the prophets. Diber elenu, he spoke unto us. Diber is a PL, perfect third masculine singular from davar, to speak. He spoke unto us. Notice the hirik. If you're following along in Delitzsch, you have a doubling of the middle radical in the bait, showing we're looking at a PL stem. So in the prophets, he spoke unto us, Be'acharit hayamim ha'ela, in the last of days, in these latter days, ha'ela is your demonstrative pronoun, in these latter days, biyad bano, by the hand of his son, literally. Biyad seems to be like through his son. Ben is son, and O is your pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. So the text begins in that God spoke in many parts and in many ways to the fathers, in the prophets, in the Hebrew scriptures. In these last days, he has spoken in the Son. He will tell us how he's spoken in the Son, 7 ways. Han etheken kleranaman panton, di hu kai apoiesin tus iona, whom he placed heir of all things, through whom he made the ages. Han is your relative pronoun, accusative singular. You think of it as chas, hu, cho, han. So whom he placed. Hethekin is from tithemi. It is your aorist indicative active third person singular. Whom he placed, heir of all things. Kleranaman is your accusative singular from kleranamas. And panton is your genitive plural. Pas, pan, tas, panti, panta, and then the plural would be panton, would be your genitive plural. He placed heir of all things, di hu, through whom. Notice di here takes the genitive through whom from dia, and who is your relative pronoun, or genitive singular, chas, hu, cho, and so forth. Through whom also, I would understand kai here as the ascensive use of kai. Also, apoiesin tus ionas. He made the ages. Apoiesin is from poieo. It is the aorist indicative active third person singular from poieo. He made the tus ionas. Here we have the accusative plural from ion, meaning age, and so he made the ages. And this probably looks at the universe, another way of describing everything, through whom he made the ages. And so the Hebrew reads that of Delitzsch, Asher netano leyoresh kol. Excuse me, let me go back here. He's spoken by the mouth of the prophets in these latter days by the hand of his son. Asher netano leyoresh kol, which he has given him to be heir of all things. Notice natano is from natan. It's the cow perfect, third masculine singular, followed by the pronominal suffix o, third masculine singular. He has given him to be the heir, the one who inherits. Yoresh from Yarash, I'm understanding it as a cow participle masculine singular, to heirship of all, vegam asa biyad et ha'olam. And then, and indeed, he made by his hand. Asa is the cow perfect, third masculine singular, a lamed hay verb. He made by his hand. Be is your preposition by, or in, or with. Yad is hand. Yado is your pronominal. Do is your pronominal suffix, third masculine singular. He made by his hand et ha olamim, the ages. And olamim then is a translation of the tous ionos, of the ages. And I think we're looking here at the universe, that Christ was the agent in making. So as we look at these two verses, by way of summary, God has now spoken in the Son, the writer says, and that is Jesus, who basically in these last days, in the final revelation, it's in the Son, who has done two things in verse 2, who is heir of all things. My mind goes back to Psalm 2, where we have heirship. Ask of me, and I'll give you the nations for your inheritance, the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession, and through whom also he made the ages, or the world. And that fits well with Christ all through the New Testament. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. What a beautiful beginning in the worship of Jesus Christ, which is what my goal is in doing this Hebrew and Greek, not only the grammar, but to worship Christ.